The quantum signatures were impossible. Dr. Sarah Chen had checked and rechecked her calculations 20 times, but the results remained the same. The Advanced Quantum Research Facility sensors were detecting something that, according to every known law of physics, shouldn't exist. "Director Matthews, you need to see this," she called out, her voice steady despite the tremor in her hands. The facility director looked up from his tablet, his expression shifting from mild annoyance to concern at her tone. The massive underground complex housed the world's most advanced quantum computer, a machine designed to probe the very fabric of reality itself. But today, it was showing readings that defied explanation. As Matthews approached, the primary display screen erupted with cascading waves of data, all pointing to one inescapable conclusion. Something was trying to break through. "These energy signatures," Sarah explained, pulling up multiple readouts, "they're not just quantum fluctuations. They're organized, structured, almost like." "Like what?" Matthews pressed, leaning closer to the screen. "Like code." Sarah's fingers flew across the holographic interface, highlighting patterns in the quantum noise. "We're receiving a message." Before Matthews could respond, alarms blared throughout the facility. The quantum computer's coolant systems were registering massive temperature spikes, and the machine's processing cores were operating at levels far beyond their design specifications. Yet instead of shutting down, the system seemed to be reconfiguring itself, forming new neural pathways and quantum connections that shouldn't have been possible. "We need to shut it down," Matthews ordered, reaching for the emergency protocols. "Wait." Sarah grabbed his arm. "Look at this." The main display had cleared, and in its place, a single message appeared. "We come seeking allies. Humanity's quantum awakening has been noticed. The void hungers." Military response teams arrived within hours. The facility, located deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, was suddenly swarming with personnel from agencies whose existence had never been officially acknowledged. Among them was Colonel David Wright, a quantum physicist turned military strategist who had spent his career preparing for exactly this kind of situation. "Dr. Chen," he greeted Sarah, his dark eyes intense but not unkind. "Tell me everything." As Sarah explained the events of the morning, more messages appeared. The beings identified themselves as the Quantum Collective, a group of civilizations that had transcended physical form to exist as patterns within the quantum fabric of reality itself. They had been watching humanity's development, particularly our advances in quantum computing and physics. But they weren't the only ones watching. The Void Eaters, Colonel Wright read from the latest message, his expression grim. "An entity that consumes entire realities, breaking down the fundamental forces that hold universes together and absorbing their energy. They're drawn to civilizations on the brink of quantum awakening," Sarah added, pulling up the detailed information the collective had provided. "When a species begins to manipulate quantum reality at scale, it creates ripples. The Void Eaters follow those ripples, finding and consuming promising young civilizations before they can become threats. And now they've noticed us," Matthews concluded. The facility became the heart of Operation Quantum Shield, a global initiative to prepare Earth for what was coming. Sarah found herself working alongside Colonel Wright and a team of the world's brightest minds, racing against time to understand and implement the defensive technologies the collective was sharing. They learned that humanity's quantum computers had accidentally created the beginnings of a dimensional barrier, a protective field that could theoretically shield our reality from external threats. But it needed to be strengthened, expanded, and most importantly, weaponized. "The Void Eaters aren't invincible," Sarah explained during a briefing with military leaders from around the world. "They're vulnerable to quantum resonance disruption. We can hurt them. We can fight back." The next 3 months were a blur of breakthrough and preparation. The facility expanded, delving deeper into the mountain as new quantum arrays were installed. Similar installations were constructed at strategic points around the globe, creating a network of quantum sensors and defensive systems. Sarah worked closely with Colonel Wright, whose military experience proved invaluable in translating theoretical physics into practical defense strategies. They developed weapons that could manipulate quantum fields, disrupting the Void Eater's ability to consume reality itself. The first attack came without warning. Quantum alarms screamed as reality itself seemed to twist and tear above New York City. A vast, dark shape emerged from the breach, its form seeming to shift and change in ways that hurt the human mind to observe. But humanity was ready. The quantum barrier snapped into place, a shimmering field of energy that encompassed the entire planet. Quantum resonance weapons powered up at installations worldwide, their energy signatures forming a complex web of defensive capabilities that the collective had helped design. The Void Eater struck, its consciousness probing Earth's defenses with the casual confidence of a predator that had consumed countless civilizations before. But this time was different. This time, its prey had teeth. The quantum weapons fired, their effects rippling through multiple dimensions. The Void Eater recoiled, its form distorting as the quantum resonance disrupted its ability to maintain coherence in our reality. For the first time in its ancient existence, it felt pain. The battle lasted less than an hour, but it changed everything. The Void Eater retreated, leaving behind valuable data about its vulnerabilities and confirmation that humanity's defenses were effective. More importantly, it sent a message to others of its kind. This prey would not be easily consumed. In the aftermath, Sarah stood with Colonel Wright in the facility's observation dome, watching the quantum barrier shimmer in the night sky above. "This is just the beginning, isn't it?" she asked. Wright nodded, his expression determined. "They'll be back, and they'll be smarter next time. But so will we." He turned to face her. "The collective chose well when they decided to help us. We're not just fighting for survival anymore. We're fighting for the right to join something larger than ourselves." Sarah looked at the quantum computer readouts, showing the constant exchange of information with the collective. Humanity had taken its first steps into a larger reality, and though the path ahead would be challenging, she knew they would face it with the same determination and ingenuity that had defined their species throughout history. The Void Eaters had made a critical mistake. They had deemed humanity an easy target, a young civilization ripe for consumption. Instead, they had awakened a sleeping giant, a species that had spent its entire existence adapting, overcoming, and turning weaknesses into strengths. As new quantum breaches appeared on the sensors, indicating more Void Eaters approaching, Sarah smiled. The real war was about to begin, and humanity was ready to show the universe why you should never underestimate a species that had turned its understanding of reality itself into a weapon. Deep beneath the Pacific Ocean, in a facility carved into the Sinop's bedrock, Dr. Maya Patel watched as her life's work took shape. Project Starforge represented humanity's most ambitious technological leap, a machine capable of manipulating the quantum framework of reality itself. "Power fluctuation in the containment field," announced Dr. James Morrison, her second in command. His fingers danced across the holographic controls, making minute adjustments. Compensating. The massive chamber before them housed a sphere of pure energy, suspended in a web of quantum fields and gravitational anchors. Within that sphere, they were attempting something that even the quantum collective had deemed risky: the creation of a controlled reality fold. "Status of the quantum matrix?" Maya asked, her eyes fixed on the swirling energies before them. "Stable at 97%, James replied. "Better than our previous attempts." 3 months had passed since humanity's first victory against the Void Eaters. In that time, the Global Defense Network had repelled 2 more attacks, but each encounter revealed a disturbing truth. The enemy was learning, adapting, probing for weaknesses in Earth's quantum barriers. Project Starforge was humanity's answer. If successful, it would allow them to not just defend their reality, but to actively reshape it, creating weapons and defenses that operated on a fundamental level of existence. Admiral Helena Santos entered the control room, her uniform bearing the newly created insignia of the Quantum Defense Force. "Dr. Patel, I hear we're ready for a full power test. Maya nodded, pulling up a three-dimensional model of their current experiment. The quantum matrices are holding better than expected. The collective's latest data packets helped us solve the containment issues. And the risks? Helena asked, though she already knew the answer. Everything about Project Starforge involved pushing the boundaries of what should be possible. The same as always, Maya replied with a grim smile. If we lose containment, we could tear a hole in reality large enough to swallow the entire facility. But we've triple redundant safety systems in place. Proceed. Maya took a deep breath and initiated the final sequence. The sphere of energy pulsed, its color shifting through spectrums that human eyes had never been meant to perceive. Warning systems blared as reality itself began to bend and fold around the containment field. Quantum flux rising, James reported, his voice tense, approaching critical threshold. This was the moment where all their previous attempts had failed. The energy requirements to maintain a stable reality fold were astronomical, and the slightest miscalculation could lead to catastrophic failure. But this time was different. This time, they had integrated the quantum collective's advanced algorithms with humanity's unique approach to problem solving. As the energy levels peaked, the sphere didn't collapse or explode. Instead, it stabilized, forming a perfect reality fold. "We did it," Maya whispered, barely able to believe the readings. "Containment is holding. The fold is stable." Admiral Santos stepped forward, studying the swirling energies with intense focus. "How soon can we weaponize this?" "We already have designs ready," Maya replied, pulling up schematics for what they called the Reality Forge cannon. "With a stable fold as a power source, we can create weapons that don't just damage the Void Eaters. They can rewrite the rules of reality around them." The next few weeks saw Project Starforge move from theoretical success to practical application. Manufacturing facilities around the world began producing reality manipulation devices based on their breakthrough. The first Reality Forge cannons were installed on specially designed ships, creating Earth's first dimensional warfare fleet. They completed the first ship, the QDS Prometheus, just in time. Long-range quantum sensors detected a massive breach forming in high orbit, larger than anything they'd seen before. The Void Eaters had decided to launch a major assault. "All hands to battle stations," Admiral Santos's voice echoed through the facility. "This is not a drill." Maya and her team rushed to the Prometheus's quantum control center, where they would monitor and maintain the reality manipulation systems during combat. Through the ship's sensors, they watched as multiple Void Eaters emerged from the breach, their forms twisting space itself into nightmarish configurations. "Reality Forge systems online," Maya reported, feeling the thrum of power as the quantum fold powered up. All weapons showing green. The Prometheus rose from its underwater berth, leading a fleet of smaller craft equipped with conventional quantum weapons. As they ascended through the Pacific waters, Maya felt a fierce pride in what humanity had accomplished in such a short time. The Void Eaters struck first, attempting to tear apart the quantum barrier protecting Earth. But the barrier held, strengthened by the new technologies developed through Project Starforge. Then humanity struck back. The Reality Forge cannon fired, its beam cutting through space-time itself. Where it struck the nearest Void Eater, reality rewrote itself according to human design. The creature's form began to unravel, its command over dimensional forces disrupted by weapons it had never encountered before. "Direct hit," James called out. "Target's quantum signature is destabilizing." The battle that followed would be remembered as humanity's first major offensive victory against the Void Eaters. The Reality Forge weapons proved devastatingly effective, able to attack the enemy on the fundamental level of existence itself. In the aftermath, as the Prometheus's crews celebrated their victory, Maya stood with Admiral Santos in the Quantum Control Center, reviewing the battle data. "The collective was right about humanity's potential," Helena mused. "We didn't just copy their technology. We improved it, adapted it in ways they hadn't considered." Maya nodded, already seeing possibilities for further improvements to their systems. We've spent our entire history pushing boundaries, finding new ways to solve problems. Now we're doing the same thing with reality itself. The quantum sensors chimed, indicating another transmission from the collective. As Maya read the message, her eyes widened. They want us to share our reality forge technology with other species fighting the Void Eaters, she announced. They say our innovations could turn the tide of a war that's raged across multiple dimensions for millennia. Admiral Santos smiled. Then we better get to work on Mark I. She gestured to the schematics Maya had been developing. The universe isn't going to save itself. As Project Starforge entered its next phase, Maya couldn't help but feel that humanity had found its true calling. They weren't just fighting for survival anymore. They were becoming architects of reality itself, ready to rewrite the rules of existence to protect not just Earth, but all of creation from the hunger of the void. Captain Marcus Chen stood on the bridge of the QDS Hyperion, watching reality tear itself apart. The dimensional battlefield before him resembled a twisted abstract painting, where the laws of physics were more suggestion than rule. His ship, humanity's newest reality forge vessel, hovered at the edge of the chaos. Multiple quantum signatures detected, announced Lieutenant Emma Rodriguez, her hand steady on the sensor controls. They're trying something new, sir. The Void Eaters had changed their tactics. Instead of direct assaults, they had begun targeting the fabric of space-time itself, attempting to unravel entire regions of reality. Today's target was the Proxima Centauri system, where humanity had established its first extrasolar quantum defense station. Status of the reality anchors? Marcus asked, his voice calm despite the growing distortion in space before them. Holding at 83%, Emma replied. But the strain is increasing. They're using some kind of resonance pattern we haven't seen before. Dr. Kenzo Tanaka, the ship's quantum physicist, looked up from his station. Captain, I'm detecting harmonic patterns in their attack. They're not just trying to break reality. They're trying to set up a cascade failure. Marcus understood the implications immediately. If the Void Eaters succeeded in creating a reality cascade, it could spread exponentially, potentially threatening the entire arm of the galaxy. This wasn't just about defending one star system anymore. Signal the fleet, he ordered. Execute Pattern Omega, and get me a direct link to Project Starforge. The Hyperion's reality engines hummed to life as the ship moved into position. Around them, 5 other reality forge vessels took up formation, their quantum fields synchronizing in a pattern that Dr. Maya Patel had theorized, but never tested in actual combat. Dr. Tanaka, Marcus called out, your theory about quantum harmonics. This would be a good time to test it. Kenzo nodded, his fingers flying over his console. The reality forge weapons had proven effective against individual Void Eaters, but this new threat required a different approach. They needed to fight harmony with harmony. Reality forge synchronization complete, Emma reported. All ships showing green for Pattern Omega. Marcus took a deep breath. What they were about to attempt had never been done before. Begin the sequence. The 6 ships began generating overlapping fields of quantum energy, their reality forge systems working in perfect concert. Instead of trying to stabilize reality through brute force, they were creating a new pattern, a quantum harmony that could potentially nullify the Void Eaters' attack. Sir, Emma's voice was tense. The Void Eaters are responding. They're changing formation. On the main display, the twisted forms of their enemies began to move with apparent purpose, arranging themselves in a pattern that seemed to mock the human fleet's formation. It was the first clear evidence that the Void Eaters possessed not just intelligence, but tactical awareness. They're learning, Kenzo muttered, adapting to our strategies. So will we, Marcus replied. Execute quantum harmonic pulse on my mark. The reality distortion reached a critical point, space itself seeming to cry out in protest as fundamental forces began to break down. In the center of the chaos, A massive form began to emerge, something larger and more complex than any Void Eater they had encountered before. "Energy readings off the scale," Emma reported. "Whatever that thing is, it's not like the others." Marcus watched as the entity fully manifested. Unlike the other Void Eaters, this one seemed to have a definite form, a crystalline structure that pulsed with dark energy. Understanding hit him like a physical blow. "It's a coordinator," he realized. "They've developed a way to coordinate their attacks. That's why the quantum harmonics changed." "Sir," Kenzo called out, "I'm detecting something else in the pattern. There's information encoded in the quantum fluctuations. They're not just coordinating, they're communicating." A new possibility emerged in Marcus's mind. If the Void Eaters were using quantum harmonics to communicate, then perhaps... "Dr. Tanaka, can you modify our Reality Forge pulse to carry a signal of our own? Something that would resonate with their communication frequency?" Kenzo's eyes widened as he grasped the captain's intention. "Yes, but... Sir, we'd be opening a direct channel to their consciousness. The psychological impact could be exactly what we need." Marcus finished. "Do it." As Kenzo worked to modify their weapons, the coordinator entity began to pulse with increasing intensity. The reality cascade was approaching critical threshold. "Pattern Omega modified," Kenzo announced. "Ready on your command." Marcus straightened in his chair. "All ships, fire on my mark. 3, 2, 1. Execute." The synchronized Reality Forge pulse shot forth from all 6 ships simultaneously, carrying within it not just destructive power but a message, a quantum encoding of human thought and determination. For a brief moment, human consciousness touched the alien awareness of the Void Eaters. The effect was immediate and unexpected. The coordinator entity's crystalline form began to fracture, its pulses becoming erratic. Around it, the other Void Eaters showed signs of confusion, their attack patterns breaking down. "It's working," Emma exclaimed. "The reality cascade is collapsing." But Marcus had seen something in that moment of contact, something that changed everything they thought they knew about their enemy. "They're not just hunters," he said quietly. "They're running from something. Something worse." The coordinator entity shattered, and with it, the coordinated assault fell apart. The remaining Void Eaters retreated, leaving behind a stabilizing region of space and a mystery that would change the course of the war. As the fleet regrouped and began repairs, Marcus sent an urgent message to Earth. What they had discovered today wasn't just a new weapon or tactic. It was the first real insight into the nature of their enemy, and perhaps a key to ending the conflict in a way no one had expected. The battle for reality had entered a new phase. Humanity had proven it could match the Void Eaters in combat, but now they faced a greater challenge. Understanding an enemy that might, in its own alien way, be as desperate as they were. The massive holographic display in Earth's Quantum Defense Command showed thousands of reality breaches across multiple dimensions. Dr. Maya Patel stood beside Admiral Helena Santos, both women studying the patterns that had emerged since Captain Chen's groundbreaking discovery. "They're not random," Maya said, gesturing to the constellation of quantum disturbances. "Look at the pattern. They're falling back along specific dimensional corridors, all leading to this region." She highlighted a cluster of anomalies that pulsed with unusual intensity. "Running from something," Helena mused, remembering Marcus Chen's report. But what could frighten creatures that eat reality itself? The answer had come from an unexpected source. Dr. Kenzo Tanaka had spent weeks analyzing the quantum harmonics captured during the Battle of Proxima Centauri. Hidden within the complex patterns of the Void Eaters' communications, he had found what appeared to be memories, fragments of experiences from countless consumed realities. "We're ready for the briefing," announced Colonel Sarah Chen, who had risen through the ranks of the Quantum Defense Force since that first contact at her research facility. She led Maya and Helena to the secure conference room, where Earth's military and scientific leadership had gathered. Dr. Tanaka was already there, his normally calm demeanor energized by recent breakthroughs. As the room settled, he began his presentation. "What we're facing isn't just a war for survival," he explained, bringing up complex quantum visualizations. "It's a refugee crisis on a cosmic scale. The Void Eaters are running from the collapse of their own reality dimension. They consume other realities not out of malice, but desperation, trying to gather enough energy to stabilize their own dying universe." The revelation had sparked intense debate within the QDF. Some argued that understanding the Void Eaters' motivation changed nothing. They were still an existential threat. Others, including Maya, saw an opportunity. "Project Starforge wasn't just about building weapons," she continued, taking over from Kenzo. "We learned how to manipulate the fundamental forces of reality itself. What if we could use that knowledge not just to fight the Void Eaters, but to help them?" Admiral Santos stepped forward. "Dr. Patel has proposed Operation Genesis. Instead of continuing this war of attrition, we attempt something unprecedented. The creation of a new reality dimension, specifically engineered to sustain the Void Eaters' unique form of existence." The room erupted in discussion. The scale of what Maya proposed was staggering. Creating weapons was one thing. Creating an entire universe was another entirely. But humanity had never been one to shy away from impossible challenges. "The Quantum Collective has reviewed our proposals," Maya pressed on. "They believe it's possible, but it would require resources beyond anything we've attempted before. We'd need to build a network of Reality Forge installations across multiple star systems. And if we fail," someone asked from the back of the room, "then we continue fighting," Helena replied firmly. "But if we succeed, we end this war not through destruction, but creation. That feels like a very human solution to me." The plan was approved. Over the next 6 months, humanity's industrial and scientific capabilities were pushed to their absolute limits. New Reality Forge facilities were constructed throughout human space, each one more powerful than the last. The QDF fleet expanded, now equipped with both weapons and tools for reality manipulation on an unprecedented scale. Captain Marcus Chen found himself commanding the flagship of this new fleet, the QDS Enterprise, named in honor of humanity's long-standing dreams of space exploration. The massive vessel housed the most powerful reality forge ever constructed, capable of generating quantum fields that could reshape space-time itself. "All stations report ready," Lieutenant Rodriguez announced from her position at operations. The Enterprise led a fleet of 50 ships, all synchronized for what would be humanity's most ambitious undertaking. "Begin quantum field generation," Marcus ordered. Around the fleet, space began to shimmer as reality itself responded to their manipulations. The combined power of 50 reality forges working in harmony was something never before attempted. "Sir," Emma called out, "we're detecting Void Eater signatures approaching. Massive numbers. They must have detected what we're doing." Marcus had expected this. The energy output from their operation would be impossible to miss. "Maintain course and power. Let's show them what we're really doing here." The Void Eaters emerged into normal space, their twisted forms surrounding the human fleet. But instead of attacking, they seemed to pause, as if sensing something different in the quantum fields being generated. Dr. Tanaka's voice came over the comm from his station in the quantum lab. "Captain, I'm detecting harmonics similar to their communication frequencies. They're trying to understand what we're doing." "Send the message," Marcus commanded. Using the techniques developed since their first contact, they broadcast their intentions directly into the quantum harmonics that the Void Eaters used to communicate. The response was immediate. The Void Eater forces began to move, not to attack, but to add their own energy to the growing quantum matrix. They had understood, and they were choosing to help. "Reality Forge at maximum power," Emma reported, her voice filled with awe. "Quantum field stability at unprecedented levels. Sir, I think this is actually going to work." Before them, space itself began to fold and twist, but not in the chaotic way of a Void Eater attack. This was controlled, purposeful. the birth of something entirely new. A reality dimension engineered specifically to support the unique quantum structures of the Void Eater's consciousness. As the new dimension took shape, Marcus felt a deep sense of pride in what humanity had accomplished. In less than a year, they had gone from victims of an interdimensional invasion to architects of reality itself, finding a solution that served both their own survival and the salvation of their former enemies. Reality anchor points stabilizing, Emma announced. The new dimension is. It's working, sir. It's actually working. One by one, the Void Eaters began moving into their new home, their forms seeming to stabilize and clarify as they entered a space designed for their existence. The war was ending not with a final battle, but with an active creation that would be remembered across multiple dimensions. The observation deck of Nexus Station Alpha offered a view unlike any other in human history. Dr. Maya Patel stood at the transparent quantum barrier, watching the swirling patterns of multiple reality dimensions intersect and flow around each other. The massive station, humanity's first multidimensional outpost, hung in a pocket of engineered space-time that allowed it to monitor and interact with dozens of different reality planes simultaneously. Beautiful, isn't it? Admiral Helena Santos joined her at the barrier. Hard to believe it's been 5 years since Operation Genesis. Those 5 years had transformed humanity in ways no one could have predicted. The successful creation of a new reality dimension for the Void Eaters had done more than end the war. It had proven that humans possessed a unique talent for understanding and manipulating the fundamental structure of existence itself. The Quantum Collective's latest transmission just came through. Helena continued, bringing up a holographic display. 3 more civilizations have achieved quantum awakening. They're requesting our help with establishing dimensional stability protocols. Maya nodded, studying the data. After helping the Void Eaters, humanity had found its calling as guardians of dimensional stability. Their reality-forged technology, combined with their innovative approach to problem-solving, had made them essential players in maintaining the delicate balance between different reality planes. Captain Chen's fleet is closest, she noted. The Enterprise's new quantum arrays should be perfect for helping them establish their first dimensional anchors. The QDS Enterprise had evolved alongside humanity's understanding of reality manipulation. No longer just a warship, it now served as a mobile platform for reality stabilization and interdimensional diplomacy. Marcus Chen and his crew had become experts at helping emerging quantum-capable civilizations take their first steps into the larger multiverse. Dr. Tanaka's team has made another breakthrough, Helena added, switching the display to show complex quantum equations. They've found a way to predict dimensional stress points before they become critical. We might be able to prevent reality tears before they even begin. The mention of reality tears brought back memories of their first encounters with the Void Eaters. The creatures, once seen as existential threats, had become valuable allies in maintaining multidimensional stability. Their unique ability to sense quantum fluctuations, combined with humanity's technology and innovation, had created a partnership that benefited all of existence. Speaking of breakthroughs, Maya said, pulling up her own research data, Project Genesis has evolved. We're not just creating stable reality dimensions anymore. We're learning how to heal damaged ones. The implications were enormous. Throughout the multiverse, civilizations faced various forms of dimensional instability. Some, like the Void Eater's original home, were slowly collapsing. Others suffered from quantum degradation or dimensional bleed. Humanity's ability to repair these problems had made them essential members of the multidimensional community. A sudden alert drew their attention. The station's quantum sensors had detected an unusual pattern of reality fluctuations in a distant dimension. That's new, Helena mused, studying the readings. The pattern looks almost artificial. Maya's eyes widened as she analyzed the data. It's a signal. Someone's deliberately manipulating quantum fields to communicate across dimensions. A new quantum-capable civilization. Or something else entirely, Helena replied. Either way, we should investigate. Within hours, a response team was assembled. The Enterprise, along with 2 other Reality Forge vessels, prepared for dimensional transit. Maya found herself aboard the flagship, working alongside Kenzo Tanaka to analyze the mysterious signals. The quantum harmonics are unlike anything we've seen before, Kenzo explained as they approached the source. They're more complex than even the Void Eater's communications. The Enterprise emerged into the target dimension, its Reality Forge systems automatically adjusting to the local quantum constants. What they found there left even the experienced crews speechless. A massive structure hung in space, its architecture defying conventional physics. It appeared to exist in multiple reality planes simultaneously, its form shifting and changing as different dimensional aspects came into alignment. "We're receiving a transmission," Lieutenant Rodriguez announced. It's coming through on all quantum frequencies simultaneously." The message that came through was not in words or images, but in pure quantum information. It took the combined efforts of Maya's and Kenzo's teams to decode it, but when they did, it revealed something extraordinary. "It's an archive," Maya breathed, staring at the translated data. "A repository of knowledge from civilizations that achieved quantum awakening across multiple dimensions and timelines. Some of them no longer exist." "Not just an archive," Kenzo added, his voice filled with wonder. "It's an invitation. They've been watching us, seeing how we handled the Void Eaters, how we've helped other civilizations. They want us to join them, become part of a network of guardian civilizations that protect and preserve reality itself." Admiral Santos, who had arrived on the Enterprise for this mission, stood before the main viewport, watching the mysterious structure pulse with multidimensional energy. 5 years ago, we were just trying to survive an invasion. Now we're being invited to join what amounts to a multidimensional United Nations. That's humanity for you, Maya smiled. Give us a problem, and we'll not only solve it, we'll turn the solution into something bigger than anyone imagined. As the Enterprise's crews began the delicate process of establishing communication with the Archive's creators, Maya reflected on how far they had come. Humanity had faced extinction and emerged not just survivors, but guardians. They had taken their place among the most advanced civilizations in existence, not through conquest or superiority, but through innovation, adaptation, and an unwavering determination to find better solutions. The multiversal archive pulsed with ancient knowledge, waiting to be explored. And humanity, with its unique blend of scientific ingenuity and creative problem-solving, was ready to take its next step into an even larger reality. They had become more than defenders of Earth, more than creators of new dimensions. They had become architects of reality itself, ensuring that the vast tapestry of existence would continue to thrive and grow under their protection. The age of quantum isolation was over. The age of human innovation across all realities had begun.